Aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Case Stories, Cases Judged by Bao Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called Whipping the Stone Tablet. In Renhe County of Hangzhou Prefecture, Zhejiang, there was a man named Chai Sheng. From a young age, Chai Sheng studied Confucian teachings, and his family was well off with both parents alive. After reaching adulthood, he married a woman named Liang, who was dutiful to her parents-in-law and supportive of her husband. Chai Sheng also had a younger brother named Chai Zhu, who had just turned 16 and was already married. One day, Chai Sheng's parents called him to the hall to speak. They earnestly advised him. Though our family has some wealth, you know that it is as difficult as climbing a mountain to accumulate riches, yet losing them is as easy as a fire-consuming hair. You've seen how the descendants of noble families wear fine clothes and eat lavish meals, surrounded daily by flatterers. They become arrogant and complacent, not realizing how hard it is to earn money. Such careless squandering of wealth will inevitably lead to the family's downfall. You shouldn't just stay at home all the time. You might as well go out and try your hand at business to earn some money. Your younger brother Chai Zhu can take care of us at home. What do you think? Chai Sheng replied. Since you, my parents, wish for me to engage in business, I will do my best to give it a try. However, I am unsure where father would like me to go to conduct business. Chai's father replied. I've heard that fabric sells extremely well in Kaifeng, the capital city. You can buy some fabric here in Hangzhou and sell it there. A round trip should take no more than half a year. Following his father's advice, Chai Sheng bought 3 loads of fabric in Hangzhou. After bidding farewell to his parents, wife, and brother, he set off for the capital. Along the way, he traveled by day and lodged by night, and after a few days, he arrived in Kaifeng. He then sought out the fabric shop of Wu Zichen, located outside the city's east gate, and prepared to sell his goods. However, before long, Chai Sheng found that the daily routine of selling fabric was rather dull, so he had his servant boy buy some wine to drink and went to the countryside to relax. Unexpectedly, he drank too much and became completely intoxicated. Unexpectedly, late that night, Wu Zichen's neighbor, Xia Riku, stole all 3 loads of Chai Sheng's fabric. When Chai Sheng sobered up the next morning and realized that all his fabric had been stolen, he was struck with terror, his face turning ashen. He called over the shopkeeper, Wu Zichen, and angrily said, You are the owner of this fabric shop, and I am merely a merchant staying here to sell my goods. As the saying goes, at home, one relies on their father, but away from home, one relies on the host. How could you conspire with others to steal my fabric while I was drunk? If you don't help me get it back, I will take this matter to the Kaifeng court. Wu Zichen defended himself, saying, I am indeed the shopkeeper, but I am an honest man. You merchants are the source of my livelihood. How could I dare conspire with thieves to steal your goods? However, Chai Sheng refused to listen to his defense and insisted on taking the matter to Bao Gong. When Bao Gong heard about the case, he said, "To catch a thief, there must be stolen goods as evidence to make a judgment. Since Wu Zichen doesn't have any fabric in his possession, I cannot declare him guilty." Thus, Bao Gong rejected Chai Sheng's petition. Yet, Chai Sheng repeatedly begged Bao Gong, so Bao Gong summoned Wu Zichen to the Kaifeng court for questioning. Wu Zichen, of course, continued to assert his innocence. Seeing no immediate resolution, Bao Gong had both Chai Sheng and Wu Zichen placed under temporary supervision. The next day, Bao Gong instructed the constables to visit the city god temple to offer incense, hoping the deity would inspire him to find the stolen goods and resolve the case quickly. Now, back to Wu Zichen's neighbor, Xia Riku. After stealing the fabric that night, he hid the goods in a remote village. To erase any trace of the fabric's origin, he wiped off the marks and numbers from the cloth. He also stamped his own seal on the fabric to make it harder to identify. Xia Riku then sold the fabric in small batches in the city, with most of it eventually being purchased by a Huizhou merchant named Wang Cheng, who paid 80 taels of silver for the cloth, all without anyone noticing. For 3 days, Bao Gong offered incense at the city god temple, but he still couldn't find any inspiration to solve the case, leaving him frustrated. Suddenly, he came up with an idea. Bao Gong ordered the constables Zhang Long and Zhao Hu to bring a stone tablet from the front of the Kaifeng court and place it in the marketplace. He then announced that he was going to interrogate the stone tablet and make it confess where the fabric was hidden. This unusual act attracted a large crowd, as people gathered to watch Bao Gong's strange behavior. Seeing the crowd grow larger, Bao Gong shouted, "You, stone tablet, are so vile. Constables, give it 20 lashes." The constables followed Bao Gong's orders and struck the stone. After the beating, Bao Gong didn't continue his questioning but instead ordered the constables to strike the tablet again. This process was repeated 3 times. Afterward, Bao Gong had the stone tablet carried back into the court. The crowd of onlookers grew larger, and a few curious bystanders even stuck their heads into the courthouse to take a look. Bao Gong ordered the officers to close the gates and brought in the leaders of the group for questioning, while the rest of the crowd was left puzzled. Bao Gong angrily said, "I am trying to solve a case here. How dare you idle bystanders disturb the court? You all broke the rules by sticking your heads into the courtroom, and for that, I must punish you. Now tell me, what do you do for a living?" The individuals admitted that they were a rice seller, a meat seller, a cloth seller, and so on. Bao Gong sternly replied, "Fine, since you're merchants, each of you must bring a portion of your goods to redeem yourselves. Remember, you must bring some of each type of goods from your shop." Though they were unhappy, they knew they had indeed broken the rules and had no choice but to comply. They left to gather a portion of their merchandise and brought it to the main hall of the Kaifeng court, prepared to hand it over to Bao Gong. After thoroughly inspecting the goods, Bao Gong noticed that some of the fabric looked quite suspicious. He summoned the group to the hall and said to them, "Leave this fabric here. As for the rice and meat, you may take them back home, but be sure not to claim anything falsely. The group was naturally happy to retrieve their goods. Next, Bao Gong called in Chai Sheng and Wu Zichen. To prevent Chai Sheng from making false claims about the fabric, Bao Gong had purposely taken 2 pieces of fabric from his own home and mixed them with the rest for Chai Sheng to identify. Bao Gong randomly picked a piece of fabric and asked, "Chai Sheng, is this your fabric?" After examining it, Chai Sheng replied, "No, this is not mine. I wouldn't dare to make a false claim." Seeing his honesty, Bao Gong then presented the 2 pieces of fabric that had been acquired from the cloth merchant and asked Chai Sheng to verify them again. After taking a closer look, Chai Sheng bowed and said, "These 2 pieces of fabric are indeed mine, but I don't know where you got them from." Bao Gong responded, "But the marks on these pieces don't match your seal. Why are you claiming these as yours?" Chai Sheng explained, "Even though the marks were wiped off, I can still see the traces where they were erased. Additionally, I had made some adjustments to the fabric sizes to prevent them from getting mixed with other merchants' goods. I remember the modified measurements, and you can measure them to confirm." Following Chai Sheng's advice, Bao Gong measured the fabric, and the dimensions matched exactly. With this information, Bao Gong ordered the constables to bring in the person who had submitted the fabric. That person stated that the fabric had been purchased from Wang Cheng's shop, a merchant from Huizhou. Bao Gong then summoned Wang Cheng for questioning, and Wang explained that he had bought the fabric from Xia Riku. Bao Gong ordered the constables to bring Xia Riku to the Kaifeng court for questioning. When Xia Riku was unable to explain the origin of the fabric, Bao Gong began a strict interrogation. Eventually, Xia Riku confessed the truth, admitting that he had stolen 3 loads of fabric from his neighbor. He had already sold 1 load and hidden the remaining 2, fearing that selling it all at once would arouse suspicion. Bao Gong ordered the constables to retrieve the remaining fabric and return it, along with the money from the sale, to Chai Sheng. Chai Sheng was deeply grateful. As the case spread throughout the community, neighbors came to Kaifeng court to file complaints against Xia Riku, accusing him of committing many other wrongdoings in the past. In the end, Bao Gong sentenced Xia Riku to exile in a remote area to satisfy public anger. Alright. Today's case story, Whipping the Stone Tablet, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.